Hello to all of my BPTV fans, Facebook fans, YouTube fans. I'm Alan Levine, the Talking Machine, and I'm going to do my 18th Maria's Ideas Teaches Us to Paint. And I'm so excited. I can't believe I've been painting for 18 months now, and I hadn't done it for 50 years. I'm old.
Welcome to Johnna's Art Studio. We are here. And Alan, you're not old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're just
well,
a
the
puppy.
calendar doesn't
You're
lie.
just a puppy. So anyway, we are here at Johnna's
Thank
Art
you.
Studio on the Hilltop, which is the inspiration for what we're painting today. So welcome if you've been here before. Thank you for joining us. And we are here with our friend Meg O'Brien, and she is the Director of Economic Development for the Hilltop Alliance. So welcome, Meg.
Here,
Thank you so much for having me.
Tilt your apron a little because you can
Oh
promote.
yeah, there you go.
You know I'm all about promotions. Very good. I'll do my talking machine
Yeah.
point. We got her on.
Yeah, so do wonderful things here on the Hilltop. You can let everybody know, what you do. You do a lot of things, but
A little synopsis
yeah.
of it.
Absolutely. So I work at the Hilltop Alliance. We are a nonprofit, and I specifically manage the business district programs in Allentown along East Warrington Avenue and Mount Oliver in Knoxville on Brownsville Road.
Do a great job. You're awesome.
Yeah.
So many good things happening up here. So, okay, so we're going to get started, right? So we
Yes.
are going to paint our gnome sitting on the hilltop, and this is the skyline of Pittsburgh. So we figured this could be maybe up in Mount Washington somewhere on one of those the slopes. So that was the inspiration here. So all right, so we're using 7 different colors today.
Oh my
Instead of
goodness.
mixing the purple, I gave you the purple. So we're using white, red, a deep blue. Doesn't matter if you have something at home, any blue, yellow, green, purple, and black. All right. So let's get started. And we are going to paint the background first. You can use this. This is a 1-inch brush. This one's a little bit flimsy, but it's okay. Or you can use the 1/2 inch, whichever you feel comfortable with. I think I'm going to use the big one though, and then we can use the smaller when we cut in around the gnome. So on the artwork, we have, this almost looks like a teal color. If you want that with the blue we have, just mix a little green with it. You can do that on your paper plate. So we're going to do the sky, paint around the moon, and again, you can see I have purple in here, I have the teal, I have black. We want it to be dark, with the moon's out. So whatever colors, however you want to lay them in, but I usually just start at the top and then work my way down and just fill in the background. So you can mix it right on the canvas. I'm going to wet my brush and then just dab the extra water off. And so like I said, this brush, if it doesn't push the paint around enough for you, you might want to use the smaller one. So I'll try it though. I'm going to mix a little bit on my palette first. I'm taking the purple, and I do want that just maybe a little bit lighter. So because it's a really deep, dark purple. So I mixed a little bit of white, but you can also, like I said, mix it on the canvas. And then you can see I'm just coming right up in, and I'm just going to fill in and just keep that wet edge. You keep the paint moving up and down, back and forth, and you don't have to do necessarily horizontal strokes or anything. You can do like a cross hatching. I kind of do this see it kind of mixes off of the brush as you're doing. If you do different, you just flip the brush kind of like that. It cleans the brush. It takes the paint off of the brush at the same time, and it gives it some texture. Now I'm laying in some of the darker purple, and this paint. All paints are not created equal, let me tell you. So these, we're using just artist craft paints. The professional artist acrylics, the pigments are a little bit better, and there are different qualities of paint. But for something like this, you're just doing it at home and having fun. Any craft paints are fine. So some of them, this one is a little bit more transparent. So when I add the white to it, it's kind of just making it a little bit more opaque for me. So you can see I'm just blending it in, and then once I take a look at it, okay, maybe I want some little darker spots here or there. You just, like I said, you can just blend it on the canvas. But I did do most of this upper portion, but I'm going to switch to my smaller 1/2-inch brush.
I'm going to follow you.
Yeah,
then.
I'm switching. I just feel like I'm going to be cutting in now, and that'll work fine. It's just a little bit stiffer. If your brushes are too flimsy when you're using a thicker paint, our paint is a little bit of a heavy body paint. It will, it just doesn't move around.
Is this
as
a first
easy.
for our show? Heavy body
Well,
paint?
it's a little thicker. They're more liquid.
Just asking.
It's more like a medium, I should say. The heaviest is really thick. You would use like a palette knife or something.
Oh,
so
okay.
the stiffer the brush, the easier it is to kind of push it around. When the brush is too flimsy, it just doesn't work so great. So I like that teal color. You can use just the straight blue. This is more like an ultramarine blue. But I'm going to mix, I took the blue, I put that on my palette, and whenever you're mixing a couple colors, I like to put them beside each other and then just introduce here and just a little bit, and you can always add more. So I just added some green to my blue, and that's kind of giving me that teal color. And if I add a little bit of white, can you see that, Ellen, too?
Yes.
Now I like that color, and the acrylics always dry darker. So I like this color, but if I really like it, I want to keep it, I have to add a little bit of white because it's going to dry. So if I add a tiny bit of white, it's going to brighten it up a little bit so it shows up, but that's pretty much that color there, and it's going to dry darker. And I'm just blending it. You can see I'm just kind of blending it. I just like it with this purple. And you can see I just mixed it back in. I kind of just pulled some of that purple back down. I'm just, wherever it goes, just kind of just like clean my brush off with the paint. Just kind of move it around, and that's all. And it doesn't have to look like this. Just make it your own. Don't worry about matching the design.
You don't have to worry, I will.
No, I know. Alan has his own style for sure. I like it.
I'm trying to be light-handed today.
Yes. No, you do your thing. You do you. And
Well,
let's see.
That's what I'm attempting.
Yeah. And then also on the image here, you can see it would be a little bit brighter where the moon is, right? Because of the light of the
Yeah.
moon. So it's darker on that right side, lighter on the left side because that's where the moon is. So as I make more of that teal color, I'll keep it a little darker. I won't add the white. In fact, I'm going to add a tiny bit of black to it because that will make it really nice and dark. And then I'm cutting in, you can see just around the gnome. I'm just using the corner of the brush like that. And you can use a smaller brush if you'd like.
I got to go smaller.
But you can. And I just use the corner.
Thank you for your guidance.
I'm an impatient painter. I don't like to take the time to switch brushes. I don't like to take time to clean it if I don't have to. So
Well, you clean it as you're painting.
exactly.
I've learned this.
Yes. So I choose my colors in a manner that you can start with one a brighter or lighter, and it will transition into the next color. And if they blend, it makes a nice hue also, or color hue. You could see, so you can see I'm just kind of blending. It's still a little bit wet, which is good. Acrylics do dry really quickly, so if you want to blend, you just kind of keep it moving, That looks great.
Oh, thank you.
I love it. Oh, good colors. See, I like how they mixed in there. That looks great. Yeah, just whatever you like. And then I'm going back down in, and I'm just filling in all the way down, and then when you get to the buildings, which is the skyline, our awesome skyline in Pittsburgh, you just cut in around again, cover up the little lines. I have every video that we do, you can watch it on BPTV, on their YouTube channel. You can also watch it on Maria's Ideas Art. And on my YouTube channel, I do make a 10-minute tutorial for every video. If you're not comfortable drawing on your own freehand, I do a little video that just kind of helps you lay out the design on the canvas. So, and you can see I'm just laying the brush, I'm just kind of cutting in. It doesn't have to be perfect. We'll clean up the edges of the buildings with the black. We just want to get that sky color. And then, like I said, it needs to be a little bit lighter, maybe down here. But yeah, just kind of move the paint around, this would be considered back in the day, when artists were getting bolder and they were mixing colors like this, or actually keeping them a little bit, excuse me, a little bit bolder, but then also their brush strokes and their techniques were looser and more impressionistic, and I just think it's interesting, and everybody does have their own style. So that's why I said, just whatever it feels good to you. You know, add however it feels good when you're throwing the paint on the canvas. Just
It all feels good to me.
yeah,
Thank
do
you.
your thing. Well, like some people, and even you've seen here too, probably, Alan. Some people have more of a whiskey wispy, not whisk. Did I say
Wispy,
whiskey?
wispy.
Wispy.
No
a
booze
wispy-
today.
No, no.
It's almost the weekend.
Exactly. Wispy, a wispy kind of hand.
Start your weekend
Yeah.
early with whiskey painting.
Yeah, I'm not a drinker,
We
so
got
that
it.
would not
Me
be good
neither.
for me.
But
No.
one glass of wine would be enough.
You give me some chocolate, and I'll eat some chocolate.
All right, Sarah's to the
Yeah.
rescue.
DC candy too.
Stage
Yeah,
boy.
DC candy across the street is great too. Yep. That looks awesome, Meg.
Oh,
so
thanks.
I'm gonna just block in the city, but while I'm blocking it in, so you know, people, I don't have to really explain that. Do you want to talk about anything? You know that I know you have so many things
Yeah.
going on all the time, and what's new
Whatever's
things
at the top of
happening
your
in the
mind. Go
area.
ahead.
or-
Sure thing.
Yeah.
We
So,
trust you.
Yeah, in my role, I'm really fortunate to be able to work with a lot of awesome business owners.
Can you name any of them?
Yeah, of
Sure.
course.
Go ahead, you have permission.
Jono's Art Studio, Maria's Ideas,
There you
of
go.
course. And then over in Allentown, Olive Amelia's there, which a lot of people recognize.
yeah.
Bottle Rocket Social Hall.
Yep.
The Grim Wizard Coffee Shop.
Whoa.
Weekly Glass, Salon Ivy. There's
I
a lot of
know.
and there's more too. I don't mean
love
to
it.
forget anyone, but that.
Well, I wanted you
those
to
are
highlight a
some-
few, so
yeah,
thank
those
you.
are just a few, and
Yeah.
then over in Mount Oliver we have TC Candy right across the
Yep.
street, the Cheese Queen.
Well, you got to
Um,
mention Legends.
Eshed.
I used to own that building when it was the Tipper Inn.
Oh,
Back in 1977, I bought it.
wow!
Right before my 21st birthday, so you can't
Yeah,
forget
so
them.
much history.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
I'm part of it
Yeah.
true.
in this community. I wish you were around then.
Yeah.
me
I
too.
know. There's so many. I mean,
Well, no, I don't want you to be older. So.
no. But
You're good.
Meg.
Thank you
and-
for doing that, Meg.
Yeah, Meg
Yeah.
and the people like Hilltop Alliance has made such a big difference in this community. I've seen it. I've been here 42 years. I've definitely seen a big difference, and it's very positive and it's exciting. And we have people coming from all over. I'm sure you're meeting people, right?
Yeah.
We have people from all over the country coming in the studio, and we have our open house going on right now. In the last 7 days, we've had people from Utah, Ohio, California, quite a few from Texas, Rhode Island. They're not visiting; they're moving here.
Wow.
They're
Yeah.
moving to this up here on the
Yeah.
hilltop.
Get a
Yeah.
hold of
It's-
Meg.
And
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Call
what we
her.
do-
Great segue,
I mean,
ladies.
they're coming from all over.
Keep painting and get this
yeah.
information out. Listen
Yeah.
closely.
So if anyone's, planning to open up a business or interested, we have special programs in these districts.
Yeah.
We do.
How do they get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me. My email is meg@pghhilltopalliance.org.
Write that down.
Or my, if you want to call my business phone, it's 412-712-3306. Our website, if you look up the Hilltop Alliance, will have a list of our resources. On the business side, we do rent abatement grants, so supporting businesses in their
Yeah,
first
that's
year with
great.
a storefront.
Yeah.
Technical assistance with marketing,
Yeah.
signage,
Nice.
facade.
What don't you do?
So, we,
That's quite the list. I'm
Yeah.
impressed.
and then in the Hilltop, in the 11 neighborhoods that are here, my colleagues also work on property stabilization grants and really
wow.
help
I
out
know,
on
it's
the
fantastic.
residential
And
side.
it's
So
Meg's-
grants are available?
Yes.
That's such
well,
a key
and they
thing,
help
grants.
you. And grant, I think it's overwhelming, right? For most people, you say grant, oh, but they help you figure that out and navigate through that process.
You can write a grant for them because I know how
Well,
complex it is.
They,
Or
We
guide
help
them.
them fill out our grant application.
Yeah.
Okay, well
and-
that's what I'm getting to.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
you
they,
can help
and they
them.
connect you with the right people. And there are things out there for people, but if you don't know how to do it or who to call, it's just great. We love it. We used to be the young people here on the Hilltop of the business. Now we're the old people. But
Hold
I
it,
like
you said
it.
I'm not. You said I'm not old.
We're middle-aged. Okay.
No, I'm old.
Yeah,
I'm
so,
old.
all right, so you can see I have the city skyline done. So I blocked that in. We can add little details if we want. I really don't have many details in the design because it's in silhouette, right? So we're going to work on the little gnome now, okay?
You are. We're a little behind.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
I'm
Take
way
your time.
behind you,
You're
ladies.
good.
So carry on.
So you can see that's just blocked in, and then we're going to work on the little the gnome. I am going to lightly kind of outline the gnome, not to leave the outline. We're going to cover them back up, but just to kind of, you'll see.
Are you outlining in black?
I'm using the black, but I want it to be a softer black. So I'm going to take black and just mix any other color with it. I'll just grab green.
Whoa.
Just to soften it up a little bit. Take some green maybe. So it's just not a true, like a harsh black. And then you want, so I'm using the little round brush and I'm adding water to it. And then when you're trying to paint a line, you see how I'm twirling the brush? And that puts the bristles back into a little point, and you pull it because you want that nice little point. And then I'm just coming in and very loosely, like that's just kind of sketchy. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just getting it, just kind of real quickly, loosely sketching the outline of the gnome. So that, and we're going to cover a lot of this up too, but I'm just doing this just to give it some definition. Some of these lines we will need, and you can even use, well, yeah, the black's okay. I was going to say you could even use a brown or a different color, but you'll see it'll come together. And then just like outline, these are little flowers that he's holding. And you can see I'm just using, so I just go back in, I get that little tip, again, and just come and just reload the brush. And then I'm just real quickly, not all of the details, but you can see I'm just defining his little legs and where everything is. And then he has his little bag. He has maybe he went and got some pierogies somewhere.
Whoa.
At one of the churches or restaurants, and he has little pierogies in his bag. They're very popular if you're not familiar with pierogies in Pittsburgh.
I love them.
I even have some behind me. I make a lot of pierogies out of clay, and so it was kind of out of, I don't even know how I even started doing it. It was like around the holidays last year, and I made some clay pierogies and I brought them up, and within weeks I ended up making I think I made over 100 pierogies at the holidays.
Wow.
And then I started stamping words on them that relate to Pittsburgh and things.
She's prolific.
And well, I do that when I'm in the evenings. If I'm sitting watching TV, I can't just sit still, so I do things like that. And so anyway, but so maybe he has some little pierogies in his bag. All right, and then you can see, and mostly this will come in handy when we do his, like I'm outlining his little mustache, where his nose is, and I'm not going to do the eyes right now because we have to fill in his cheeks and his face. So you can just get an idea where he is, where everything is, and then we're going to color it in, but we still want to cover up some of these lines. So it kind of seems like, why did we do it if we're covering up? But we're going to leave some of it, and let me show you here. See how it's a little darker? Instead of painting it all and going back in and trying to outline, and then the outline gets too thick, this way we'll be able to achieve a very fine, thin black line because we'll cover some of it up, but we'll leave a little bit. And that it's a different way of getting the little contour lines and
This
things
is
in
the
there.
advanced course, so
Yeah.
listen, please.
Yeah. So let's see. So I did that, and now I'm going to, you can put whatever color you want on his hat. I'm using red because the red's going to pop. Reds and yellows really pop, and our eyes see those usually first. And you can see I'm going over my black lines, but you can still see it, and that will still help define that. And I'm just coming across, I'm using this little 1/4-inch brush. Now keep in mind when you paint this hat and the rest of his body, if you have a light source when you're painting, usually you do, you figure out where's your light source, and then we're putting little highlights on his hat and highlights on his clothes and on the hilltop, okay? So just figure out where, if you put the moon on the other side, your highlights will be on the other side. So when you're painting with red and you want highlights, if you use white, that's fine, but you will get pink. I don't necessarily want a pink hat on him, so I'm using yellow because yellow is a warm color. It will make the red brighter, but it won't turn it pink. I can still add a little bit of white after it dries, but you could see by putting this little bit of yellow on here, it just looks like that light is hitting his little hat, okay? And we'll let that dry, and then you can also, we'll get the moon done shortly too, but we have to just kind of imagine that light is coming on him. And this is a little 1/4-inch filbert brush. It's a little round, and we're going to use this for most of the rest of him. So we need to make whatever color you want his face. Do you want it brown, black, orange, purple, fleshy, whatever? I'm going to mix yellow, red, maybe a little bit of blue. So that kind of gives me a light brown. I'll add some more white to that. So I just mixed the primary colors, yellow, red, and blue.
Okay.
If you want them darker, add more blue. If you wanted a warmer color, you can make them a pink. You can make a pink face, which would be kind of cute too. A little bit of red and white. Like that's kind of, I'm going to do that, kind of rosy. So I did make that little brown, but then I added some of the white to it and a little bit more red and made it like a rosy pink color. And then I'm just coming in with that little brush. We have to make sure that black line is dry. If it's not, just give that a couple seconds to dry. And I'm just blocking in his little face. And then we'll do this hand. I guess, yeah, we could see this hand a little bit. And this one. I'm going to do his clothes, his body, all of that first. And then we'll do his beard after, because his beard's laying on top of his clothes. You know, oh, that looks cute. And then actually, while I had that brown, let me delineate a little bit more. We can do his little boots, okay? So this I made a little bit darker, red, blue, and yellow. We'll get his little pants. Oh no, his pants are blue. Sorry, I take that back. So his little boots, I'm going to block them in, and then I'll add some little detail as if they're little furry, kind of furry, little. I'm not a fan of using fur, but he's a gnome, so he probably collected the fur that flies off of animals when they're, because he's tiny.
Whoa.
When they groom themselves, you know. So anyway, so I got his little. I'm again blocking them in. The front, the toes of his boots. We're going to put make those a little brighter because the light would be hitting the tops of his boots. You can see there. I'll put a little bit here. And it looks a little different than my original, and that's fine, no biggie. But so we have to keep in mind again where that light is going to hit. So maybe this will be a lighter, and I'll add some detail on this. I'll make them look a little fluffy. So we have his boots, and then his little belt is brown, if you're doing it brown. And then he'll have his little buckle on too. And then his little bag is also brown. You can mix a little black with these colors too if you want a nice little brown color. I am mixing a little bit of yellow because I want it more of like a mid-tone brown. So we have there. So you can see I'm covering up some of that line, but I'm leaving it. So like that gives me this tiny little black line, which would have been difficult to do. Mm-hmm. But when you cover some of it up and leave a bit of it, it gives you a nice little tiny line without trying to struggle and get a perfect little line. And then he has little jeans on, so I have blue. I'm adding some white. Okay, and I'll just block in his little jeans. And then let's see. And then purple. I'll add some little purple for his. I have his, because we're introducing a color that's in the sky. When you reintroduce some of the same colors in a painting, it makes it a little more cohesive. You're repeating some of those colors, kind of keeps your eye moving around. So you can see how, again, I covered up some of those black lines, but I did leave them. So we're blocking everything in, then we will add the highlights. I'll put a little shadow under here. So he doesn't have too much dimension yet because of that. He looks flat, right? Mm-hmm. Blocking it in, and then once that dries a little, we'll put our little highlights again on that side. So I'm just blocking in, and then I'm going to block in his beard and his little mustache. Mustaches are popular right now in Pittsburgh, right? Because of our ball player.
I wouldn't know
the
about
ball
that.
player. No, the new baseball player. The Pittsburgh, the Pirate guy.
I've had mine since I was 21 years old.
What's the guy's
My
name?
Fu Manchu, Skeens.
I don't know.
Paul Skeens.
Yeah, and he has a mustache. He's a young guy, but he has a mustache. And now everybody in the stands are like taping on like fake plastic mustaches.
He caught up to me.
It's so funny. Yeah.
I gotta go to a Pirates game.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. It's all about the mustache right now, so I just blocked it.
Yeah.
And then we have, I'll grab my little round brush again. We have the little daisies. that he picked, and I'm just using the white, and I'm just using that little tip. So anything that's in the front, you paint after. You paint the things in the back first. So I painted his clothes. The flowers were in front of his clothes, so you could see I painted that first, and then the little petals will overlap the clothes. So you can see I'll do.
So I use primary colors for the flesh on behind.
Yeah, primary, and then some white, and probably a little bit more of the red and white, less of the blue.
Okay, so more red.
Red, white, yellow, a little bit of
Alright.
blue. Like, see how it comes out. See how you like it.
Well, you know I'm heavy-handed, so
Or that's okay.
I appreciate your guidance.
I mean, you can make his face purple if you want. Do whatever.
No, the
Mixing
sky
is
looks
really-
purple to me, so
It's
I'm
an
good.
art. It's
Truly.
Well,
cool to experiment.
Yeah, it is. And when you use the color, when you look at a color wheel and the color theory and you understand it, it's very easy because you break it down to warm colors, cool colors. Then you have your like tertiary colors. We won't get into all that.
Whoa,
Yeah.
not tertiary.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Colors that are beside the other colors on the
Maria
color
keeps
wheel.
taking me to a new level.
Yeah, but it's just fun. And it also, when you learn,
I'm having fun. Thank you.
just get a color wheel or Google a color wheel, right? And just
I'm
look at the
listening to
colors.
Maria,
It's
so-
also, when you understand how they complement each other, how they make one color might make another one pop, you can apply those same theories in decorating your home, wearing your clothes. If you were wearing, say, a blue outfit and you wanted a contrast, you want it to pop, you use an opposite color on the color wheel, like orange or yellow, like yellow even is on the other side too. It's a little warmer color. You use a warmer color and it'll be like, it'll pop. And you use different color
Thank you for
theory.
explaining this
Yeah,
to
you
all of
use
us,
the different
Maria.
principles of that when you paint and create things and decorate
I've
your
been
home.
learning for 18 months, so thank
Yeah, sure. Reds and yellows draw your eye. So you can see your eye's going right to his hat. So
Uh-huh.
we will put a little bit of red, like maybe on the moon, maybe down in the grass. So you can see right here, I just blocked it in. Now I just took I took this little brush and you can see I'm adding just a couple little details.
Wow.
See his little fluffy boots, maybe some little shadow. But again, keep in mind, just remember we're your light source, so there'd be shadow, right?
Yeah.
A little bit under the cuff because it sticks out further. So you just zoom in on each part, and instead of looking at the big picture, it gets overwhelming. So this part of his boot would stick out further, so there'd be a shadow here. This part would be up higher, so that would have some light on it. And that way it doesn't get as overwhelming. This right here would have a little shadow because his arm is there. And that's really all you do is just look at each individual little section and determine where that shadow would go. There'd be a little shadow maybe on this side under his beard, and then under his arm, where his arm is here. And just, it's kind of like zooming in with the camera, just zoom in.
Oh, good analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the same with his beard. Now I'm going to pick out some details on here. I'm using black, but not just, I just grab colors. I mixed white, I mixed blue. You just need some color to define where his mustache is. And we have his little, got too much water on there. There would be a shadow under his little mustache. Okay, and then there. And then maybe where his mouth is, and then over here, I'm just taking and pulling the tip, just to give it some little texture. You can give him some little wiggly, little brush strokes on his beard. I'm even putting a little bit of purple in his beard. Why not? Right?
Whoa.
Once you go GNOME, you never go home,
Oh my goodness.
right?
So true.
We have I have some a neighbor
We'll
not
find
far
out.
from us. Yeah, she has some GNOME stuff going on in her yard. It's so funny, and she like changes them all the time. And I'm not crazy about the way this little stash looks. All right, that's a little better. Okay, and then I'll pick out like his nose and his
I gotta
cheeks.
switch to
If
the
you
little
need,
brush.
yeah. So his nose and his cheeks, I'm going to outline them. I'm using red, and I mixed some yellow with it because I just want his little rosy cheeks. See how I'm going over that black again? If you want him to be more cartoony, you can leave more of the black, but I don't. I want less. So a little bit of his little rosy cheeks there. And his nose. Ooh, there's a lot of red there. And then I will also put a highlight on his nose and his little cheeks with the white. You could even use a little yellow. So his little cheeks, I'll get the white here because his little cheeks will have the higher point, right, of where your cheeks are. That would get the light. And then his nose on that side. And once it dries, we're blocking this in. We paint, fairly quickly here. You can always go back in and you can add your little details. So that's his little nose. I think I'm going to put a little bit of yellow on his nose. And I'm putting a little bit of yellow over here on his beard. Just again, for that
How
little...
you holding up, Megan?
She's good.
Good.
Good, yeah.
You're doing
Looks
well. Yours
good,
looks
Alan.
great.
Oh, thanks.
So you can see there. And let's see, I did outline, I did the little brown belt and then with a little round brush, just put that little detail on his belt like a buckle. And his little jeans, if you want more of like a lighter denim, just add a little green again to the blue. And that will give you more of a denim look. So you can see I'm just mixing colors, whatever color you have, add a little bit of white or a darker tone, black or something to it. Make it darker or lighter, whatever you need. Oops, clean my brush. Need that a little bit darker in there. Okay. So now so he's all blocked in and I think I should give him some eyes. So I have my little guy, he's just kind of smiling under his mustache, right? So instead of painting eyes or eyeballs, I'm just giving him this is his eye right here.
Well, I beat you
Just like
too.
that. And even if you wanted to do a little something like that, like he has the little wrinkles in the corner.
I had to be different. I poked eyes in there.
Okay.
Oh,
I was
okay.
moving down and I said, I got to pop an
Okay.
eye in there.
That's fine. It's your painting.
You
do
told
whatever
me
you want.
that, so I'm going with
so I'm
it.
doing a little,
And you can too out there.
yeah. Oops, just like that. So he's he's a little smiling. Okay. And then again, while I have the black on my brush, if I look back and see, do I need anything, little detail? Do I need a little shadow? And kind of pick that out too. His eyes look a little off to the side, but we'll have to fix him a little bit. All right, so we have that little highlight. And then I'm going to move to the grass that he's sitting on, this little hilltop. Yeah, we have little parks up here. We have the Southside Park, which has trails and waterfalls, and we have Goat Fest up there.
Yeah.
We get a lot of people for Goat Fest now. I'm surprised, like a lot of people. It's a lot of fun. Music and food and it's just fun to meet people, meet different people. I love this area. I've been here forever, lived here my whole life, and I love the diversity of the area. People from all over the world, like all over the place, are just moving here. It's close to town. It's close to the south side. You can get anywhere, north, south, east, west. It's very centrally located, which is very convenient.
There's a lot of good events this summer too.
Yeah.
The Allentown Night Market happens twice
Yes,
a year.
I know. I love that.
So
Wow,
June
that
8th
is
and then in
great.
Yes.
October. There's going to be a Pride event on June
Yeah.
15th in Mount Oliver.
Yep, and they have the live music on Friday nights,
Yep.
Fridays.
And
Yep.
the live
Where's
music
that
is
at?
kicking
Right down
off.
here, right down the street here.
150 Brownsville Road.
Nice.
The
little
deck.
Yep, little deck. It's real cute. I
Yeah.
love it.
There's action here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I could see. I just added some little highlights. I might have to do a little more, but right now that's what I have going on there. I can see his face needs a little bit of work, but I just want to move on to this bottom area. So what I'm doing here, in the artwork, I have more of an olive green.
Uh-huh.
I don't want a very harsh green. I don't want it to be too bold. So with the colors that we have, we start with this green. So this green's pretty bright, right?
Yeah.
What color do we add to? It's referred to as knocking it back. We still want it green, but we want to knock it back so it's not so intense. The intensity.
Yellow? White?
No.
No. We want to keep it green, but not so bold and bright.
Blue?
The saturation.
We're guessing.
Okay, wrong and wrong. We had red because red is the opposite.
That was
I know
my
the last
next
one.
guess.
You picked everyone except. So
We're
when
on the
you-
same page. Way off.
So I should grab my little color roll. Red and green are opposites, okay?
Okay.
So they cancel out
And
each
in
other
the
a little
tray
bit.
too.
Okay.
All right.
So here's my green. It's very bright, but just add a little bit at a time. I'm gonna add a little bit of red. So see how it's still green,
Wow.
but it's more of a forest green, right? I want more of an olive green, so I add even a little bit of yellow, and it'll warm it up. So you see
I
that's
did say
pretty-
yellow.
Well, but you still need the. That's if
I
you
caught
warm
you.
it. But you.
I caught you.
Yeah, you need the red though to
You
like.
taught me a few things,
Yes.
so
You need the red to knock it back, and then you can.
All
you
right.
know. But yellow was in there at some point.
I'm not that advanced, but thank you.
Yeah. So, and I just took the 1/2 inch. I just dripped some water on my canvas. That's why
Oh,
it's
my
smushing
goodness.
around a lot here.
She's
So-
getting more advanced.
I know.
on us.
And then, like, if you want it
This
lighter.
is great.
Yeah. So you just add white. So you get your
Alright.
you get your base color, red and green, a little bit of red, or as much, however dark you want. And then, if you want to warm it up, you add your yellow. You want to lighten it up, you add your white. So I'm coming in, and just like this, real quick, I'm just turning my brush sideways, and I'm just blocking this in, just like that. And then he has, or the hill, there's yellow. So I'm just doing it wet on wet. I'm throwing that yellow in right now. You could see as I'm just mixing it right on the canvas, because again, that moon, we have to get our moon painted.
Wow.
I'll do that
good.
next. So I'm just pushing it through, and then a little darker, I'm going to put, you can even add some little bit of purple to it if you want. We do want to introduce a little bit of purple down here at some point. Oops, I covered up my yellow.
Because it'll be darker.
Ooh, look at that. I got a little drips. It looks like little windows in there.
It does.
See that? I might have to do some more of those. So
Yeah.
that's it. So just kind of block in the grass, the hilltop, mossy. Maybe it's a little mossy knoll, that he's sitting on. See, that got too bright in there.
Did you say grassy knoll?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I know.
historic.
It is. No, we won't talk about that. That was bad.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just caught you on that.
All right, so I have my green, and then I just kind of moved it around real quick because I wanted to show some little bit of texture in there too. And then let's see, I think I'm going to add, I have my green, I'm going to add a little bit of red again to knock that back. I am going to add a little bit of purple because I want some of that hue, that purple. It's still green, it's kind of like a gray green, but if you can see, by putting a little bit of that purple in there, and also shadows in nature. If you're painting or if you're outside or you do photography, pay attention to the light and the shadows. That helps you with your artwork. And also shadows in nature tend to look purple or lavender. So it makes sense to our eyes when we're viewing artwork or something if you mix in the purples for the shadows. So this green at the bottom, this would be maybe a little bit more in shadow down here, but you can see by introducing the purple, it gives it some shadow, but it also helps bring some of that tone, that hue from up there. And again, we're just repeating colors, which makes for a good composition there. So just kind of move it around, and then I'm not even cleaning my brush. I'm just taking black and coming right up under there. And you can see how the edge of this is real messy, right? Mm-hmm. But I'll clean it up. See, I'll clean it up. I'm kind of shaking my brush a little because I want that to look like it's, whatever, little nature thing, and that there aren't too many straight lines in nature. And I cleaned up that edge with the black.
Cool.
So when you do a darker color up against the lighter, you can do that. And then I'm doing my black under here. Now this, again, it's a little darker over here in this corner because that moon is over there, which, man, we got to paint that moon. We got to get back to that moon. So, but in here, I don't want it quite as dark. So I'm not even cleaning my brush. I'm grabbing, I still have black on that. I'm grabbing some green or whatever is on my palette, and I'm just throwing it in, and I'm just doing some brush strokes. Even maybe this way, maybe the hillside, would kind of be the soil or whatever could possibly be, maybe look like that. Again, you could do it any way you want. And then I even have a little bit of that teal color again, again, repeating these colors on the edge of this. But I think I'm going to use a little brush. So I just want to get a little bit of this teal color repeated again. So I'm just putting it, it's just fun. Again, Would it be like that in nature? I don't know. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't, but it's art, right? It's a painting. You could do anything you want.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, see, by just again repeating that color, it just kind of pulls it down. And then I like this color too, and I could see like even maybe down closer to the buildings. Usually the sky is brighter at the horizon. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of that color right back in there. I feel like, and then I'll just blend it out. All right, so while that's drying, because I can do my little flowers in there, I'm going to paint the moon. You can put a face. You can put a face on the moon too, right? Little man in the moon if you want.
You gonna do that, Al?
I'm thinking about it.
I know. I think
I was
going to
put a little green cheese on the moon.
Oh, a little green cheese.
Yeah, remember they used to say it was made out of green cheese.
I remember cheese, but I don't remember being green. But hey,
Yeah.
whatever you say.
Me either.
Well, the aliens
green
came
cheese?
down, so yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Sometimes you do see it like green when it's like alien-looking things.
Exactly. I had to bring that out to
I
you
get
since
it.
you just were there.
Huh? Yeah,
Ancient alien.
that's right. Okay, I am going to paint the moon. So I'm taking white. I'm just taking my little filbert brush, which is this round, curved, little hair, little curved brush. You can see a little curved. And
Yeah.
anytime you paint something, it's curved, filbert. So I'm coming in, and then I just lay the brush down. If I lay the brush down and press, I let that edge of that curved brush create my curve. See, and you just pull your hand around.
Wow.
You can see how it cuts in. So you can see it cleaned up that rough edge, right? Yeah. So you could even make your moon a little bit bigger. It'll clean that all up for you if you want to.
Wow.
And then I'm turning my hand the other way, and just again I'm pressing down on the brush and just letting it just clean up that edge. And my moon just got a little bit wonky. So I will fix that.
Fix the wonk.
Very wonky. I'll use the purple. I'll use the sky colors again. And I am going to put in, you can see a little bit of yellow. Again, I didn't clean my brush. I took the white and I went right into the yellow. I put some on the moon there. And then, see, I put that yellow, but I left that little white because it would be reflecting the edges. So you leave that little white edge, but put that shadow there. And it has a little bit of yellow in the white, so it's not a bright white, so I'm going to let that dry, and then I will add the bright white to that. And then any little white highlights you add, you can see whoops, I just actually got some red on his shirt.
Uh-oh.
I might have to cut now.
That's why it's your painting, not
Yeah,
ours.
I'll let that dry a little
Very
bit. Oh
good.
yeah, look, see, I got all kinds of different colors going on here. All right, I'm gonna let that dry.
I'm not taking notes, so carry on.
No, just all you have to do is remember where the light source is coming from, and just put your paints dark or light accordingly. And okay, so I'm going to quit messing with him right now. I'm going to clean up my sky around the moon. So I'm using a little brush. I just wet it. Want it a little bit wetter, and I'm just coming in. I'll just do something like that around there, and I'm doing some little, I don't know, just something like that. Little rings around it. Again, you don't have to. Just I wet the brush a little bit more, put a little bit water, and then the little stars. So I have the little round brush right now. Going into the white, and I'm making sure I do have some water on it, so I can I feel like maybe this one. Make sure you get that nice little point. If your brush is stiff, it's a new brush, just wet it first and it'll take the glue out of the bristles. Okay, so I have my little brush, and I'm doing this. I want some little stars, right? Just a few of them bigger. So I'm doing little line,
Whoa.
vertical and horizontal, and then you just start in the center and come out. And that gives you like a little starburst. Okay, and I'll do one bigger there. I'm doing another little one here. And I like odd numbers for, well, when things are in design, like odd numbers are kind of good, like for balancing. And then, this is the fun part. You're like this, we've done this.
You're gonna
once.
spray.
It's kind of wet. I put in the white, and I have a clean brush here. And it's a little bit more water happening on my, I don't take the extra water, and just take the clean brush, and just tap it.
Ooh.
Look how cute.
Unbelievable.
And I'm letting them go on the buildings. It looks like windows, right?
Yeah,
Looks
nice
like-
touch.
So that you can see it's a little bit wetter, so they're coming out smaller. If you want them bigger, make it, keep the paint
Hold it, I'm
bigger.
bold. Don't tease
I'm
the
putting
bold.
them down here too. I like
Don't
the,
tease the bold out of me. Come on, I'll keep it.
yeah. Even
dainty.
here, you could see the little freckle. They look like maybe they're little specks on the dirt or something. I don't know, but it's just fun to do that.
Might
And
be
I-
a meteor piece of
Yeah.
shower. So.
And I'm adding a little bit of the darker purple. I felt like that needed that up there. And then our little flowers, we use the same little filbert, little round brush. And I want daisy, so I'm taking it in, putting it in the white. And I just do, you start, picture a circle, picture like a wheel. And you start out here and you go to the center. You can even do a center dot if you want. And you just come in, and you just do that. And that gives you your little flower. And that's with the little filbert. So if you put the little dot, that kind of maybe give you an idea of where you want them. And if you want them tinier, you can use that little round brush. But I'm going to use the filbert. I'm turning the filbert on its side. If I turn it this way, you'll see it be bigger. Okay, it'll be the shape of the brush. And that could be bigger because this flower's in the foreground. This one's back a little further. I'm going to turn the brush sideways, and you can see I'll get a smaller one if you want to think about that. And then the center of the flower, I think I'm going to, on the artwork I have yellow, but now that I'm looking at this, I feel like I need to repeat that red because it's only on his hat. And I still want your eye to kind of move around. So I'm taking the red, and I'm going to put the red in the middle of the flowers instead. And that kind of, see how it just, your eye gets pulled around with the red. So put that red in there. And now I think I just have to look at his face, see if anything needs fixed. And I do feel like it needs a little bit here, maybe his hand. Check out your highlights and shadows, because once you get everything blocked in, it's just a matter of that. Just highlights, shadows. I feel like maybe a little more highlight up in here. You can even do something like this if you want it to look like a couple little blades of grass. Take your little brush and pull it up that way if you want. Maybe just around him. And that's pretty much it. I'm just going to, like I said, I'll just kind of play around with it and see if I need anything. You guys they look
I'm
good.
good. I just need my bottom part. I'll have to
yeah,
get that.
you're good. So I'm just going to, yep, I think we're good. I'll pick out the little details after it dries. So, and then we'll finish and we'll come back for our reveal, okay?
Yeah, perfect.
So keep painting, right? And, okay, we'll see you in a few. Okay. All right, guys, we are going to reveal the finished paintings. You did so well. They are awesome. Yay.
Thank you for the expertise to get this done.
Oh, you guys did a great
Yeah,
job.
thank you so much for having
Oh,
me.
thank
You're
you for
welcome.
being here. We know you're so busy. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for
course.
making the time to be on
Yeah.
Maria's Ideas Teaches Us to Paint.
Yay. All right. They look great. Really, really great. I love the little stars, the speckles. So I might have to go up on one of those trails and see if I can find one of these little gnomes up there.
Yeah, there might
Yeah.
be one. Bring one
Yeah.
with you.
So next episode will be episode 19, right, Ellen?
Yes.
19. So we've been focusing on artists and musicians this year. So He's a teacher at Bethel Park, but he's a musician. So we are going, and this design, I did not create it, it's my version of this design that you see. It's very popular design here
Yes.
and there. And
I like the birds
yeah,
there. I can't
so-
wait.
So that's going to be episode 19, and that is called Imagination Island. So
We're
all right.
going there. We'll be
All
there.
right. Thanks, guys. See you next time.